go again?
Oh, no, not again.
You've seen it before, haven't you?
Dom, how long have we been doing this?
Once more unto the breach, dear friends.
Again and again and again until we're both dead.
Hello, welcome to You've Seen It Before, movie reviews for Connections in Mind. Transformers Rise of the Beasts is the latest live-action Transformers film coming off the heels of 2018's Bumblebee, and this movie is directed by Stephen Caple Jr. and stars Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback as Noah and Elena, two young people living in 1994 New York, who, after discovering a Cybertronian artifact, are then drawn into the conflict between the various Transformers factions, and they also are drawn in, work with the Autobots to prevent Unicron from finding Earth and basically ending the world. Now, this video review will contain spoilers of Transformers Rise of the Beast, as well as certain other plot developments and character arcs later. I'll be doing my spoiler-free thoughts first and foremost, however, but just so you know, there will be some spoilers later on in this review. So first and foremost, let's get into some spoiler-free talk on Transformers Rise of the Beast. Is it a good Transformers film? Is it a good follow-up film to Bumblebee? Is it worth seeing in a theater? I would say, yes, this is definitely a good Transformers movie, probably better than most, if not all, of the previous Michael Bay directed films. Is it as good as Bumblebee? Having just rewatched it right before seeing this new one, I could say probably not as good as Bumblebee, but I'll couch that in saying that that depends on what you're looking for in one of these movies. Because frankly, this is worth seeing in the theater if you want to go with your friends and see, giant robots on the screen blow stuff up and very loud, large explosions. You're definitely going to get that, and you're going to have a reasonably decent time doing that. If you're going into this looking for the same kind of character dynamic that we saw between Haley Steinfeld's character and Bumblebee, in that film, you're not going to get that in this one, because really this is more focused on the traditional kind of antics that Transformers is known for. Big robots punching each other, shooting things, blowing stuff up. You're going to get a lot of that here. And you're also going to get a lot of, somewhat lore-heavy exposition of some things. Not nearly as lore-heavy as the previous Michael Bay directed films, but definitely more delving more into the lore of Cybertronians and the various other planets that have these kinds of aliens. Because as it's revealed, the beasts, I forget the specific name that they have for their faction, but the Beast Transformers, we'll call them the Beast Transformers. They're from another planet, and they've been hiding out on Earth for thousands of years at this point, guarding this artifact. And they're actually very well designed. They have, for the most part, decent character development. There's really only one real character arc that goes along with this movie, and it's played across three different characters. One being Noah, the other being Optimus Prime, and the other being Optimus Primal, the large ape transformer that we see in this. And while it is a good character arc, they all make it. It is sort of repeating it the same over three different characters isn't necessarily the best idea, in my opinion. And between Noah and Elena, you get the bare bones, why we should care about their plight in particular. And then we also get the various, we don't want to see the world end, so we're going to work with the Autobots. Great. That's all we get, though. So if you're going in for this for character work, you're probably not going to get it. If you want a more solid character piece with Transformers, I think Bumblebee's probably going to be the better bet for you. that being said, Bumblebee is fairly obviously a E.T. Iron Giant ripoff, but those are the tropes that are good. If you know that going in, you'll have a good time with that. But stick with Rise of the Beast, however. What about the action? Well, I would say the action is shot much better, in my opinion, than the previous Michael Bay films. The various combatants are allowed to fight over various imaginative landscapes. A lot of the action takes place in Peru. So you get the hills of Peru, you get the jungles associated with that. It does devolve near the end into a giant CGI robot battle fest at that point near the end. But I will say you are able to distinguish the various combatants a lot of the time for that, and I think that is a bit of a leg up than previous films. However, there was one of the biggest fails, I think, in my opinion, is the fact that if you've seen the trailer and you've seen the various action scenes, specifically scenes involving Bumblebee, you've basically seen all of Bumblebee in that movie, which I think is a huge misstep because, most people are going to be going into this movie with the goodwill built around the previous film, Bumblebee, that relationship. However, I guess this is a mild, I wouldn't call it a spoiler, but Bumblebee's not really involved in this movie very much. And what involvement he is pretty much all in the trailers. And I think that's a huge misstep because for a lot of people who were maybe turned off by Transformers and maybe got brought on with the franchise because we had a more limited interaction with Transformers, namely with one, Bumblebee. To not have that character play that huge a role in this movie is frankly a huge misservice with this. And we do get a sort of replacement for that dynamic with between Noah and another Transformer named Mirage, who, if you've seen the trailer, he takes the form of the silver and blue Porsche. They're fine. I mean, they got there's one joke in particular that Mirage makes that got a bit of a chuckle out of me and a lot of people in the theater, frankly. But really, there's not that much to Mirage. I think the reason why Bumblebee works so well is because he's speaking through the radio or whatever, and speaking with his radio clips and movie clips or whatever. But we can also project a lot of various emotions onto just his facial expressions. You don't get that with Mirage. He is very talkative, and he's very much a product of the 90s, which that's another point to be made. Where Bumblebee really leaned in fairly heavily into the 1987 aesthetic of things, they really don't lean into the fact that this is 1994 very much at all in this. They do a little bit near the beginning, but if you didn't know it was 1994 going into this, I'd say from probably the first third, after the first third of the movie, you wouldn't be able to tell that this was in the 90s, other than the fact that no one's using their phones to take pictures of everything. That's it. So whether that's a huge negative, that's up to you. I found it was more of that's kind of an interesting point. But like I said, these are my nitpicks. Overall, I would say this is serviceable enough. But as a sequel to Bumblebee, I would say this is a slight step down. However, and as it left me wanting more, there is a setup for a potential sequel. I'm not all that excited about that, at least what the tease is leading to this. However, I feel like as a reboot of this franchise that Bumblebee was leading into Rise of the Beasts, I would say they have not derailed the franchise yet. So the reboot, in my opinion, is still going strong enough, rather. So if I was going to give Transformers Rise of the Beasts a letter grade, I would say this is a B-. it was a fun enough time, but it didn't leave me, wanting to come back to this again and again like I would with Bumblebee. So those are my spoiler-free thoughts on Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Now let's get into spoiler talk as to certain plot developments and character arcs that may seem familiar to you and where you may have seen them before. So this was kind of the first one. This was kind of a head fake for me. Maybe do a double take in my brain. So the Optimus Primal, the Beast Transformer, he's voiced by Ron Perlman, and he is narrating the beginning of the opening shots of the movie, and to me, I'll always that made me think so much of Titan AE, which was another animated animation, 2D/CG animated movie, which also featured a voice performance from Ron Perlman, who also narrated the opening shot of the movie, which happened to be space. So there was an interesting parallel to be made there. Also, the fact that the alien artifacts, the first one's in New York, but then the next one's in Peru. That gave me strong vibes of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where not only is the next artifact hidden in Peru, but also a catacomb complex in Peru. So there's that comparison to be made. Also, the fact that, yes, once again, we have the Skybeam make its appearance again. And sometimes Skybeams can work really well. Other times it's kind of a Avengers ripoff. This feels like another Avengers ripoff, frankly, with Skybeam, which it's not a deal breaker, but it is definitely something that we've seen before, and frankly, we've seen done better. So there's that. And finally, the reveal that once Mirage apparently was not dead, just very badly injured. He's not. He couldn't have just stayed dead. He had to revive, and basically give Noah an Iron Man suit. And I realize there's only so many ways you can make that suit look, but the way they shot the transformation, the transference of the parts to Noah to turn into the suit, it was shot so similar to the first Iron Man, and how the camera panned down over the suit and how the suit looked. It was very obviously an Iron Man ripoff at that point, and I don't mind the concept so much, but I just feel like Noah with the Iron Man style suit, he didn't do a whole ton. Once he got the suit, he was not a humongous, he provided a brief distraction, with Scourge while he was battling Optimus, but that's pretty much it. And, I had a hard time buying that, even enhanced with Cybertronian stuff, that he could, once the Unicron is defeated and everything's getting sucked back into the portal and Optimus getting blown back, I have a hard time believing, yes, he has the feet that clamp onto the ground, but the ground itself is dissolving. I have a hard time buying that little Noah could, even in his Cybertronian armor, could hold on to Optimus's axe or whatever and keep him from flying away long enough for Optimus Primal to come up and help as well. I just don't buy that. So there was that, and finally, I alluded to it in my spoiler-free talk, but the tease that we get at the end, I have no idea if that person, that actor, was in the previous films or not, but teasing the Transformers tie-in with G.I. Joe. I have no real nostalgic connection with G.I. Joe, so that doesn't bother me. And all I know about G.I. Joe, like the modern universe, is the two G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe Retaliation, or whatever, were terrible. And I've heard Snake Eyes was not that much better. So unless there's another just kind of completely rebooted G.I. Joe again, I am not all that thrilled with that direction. Can't we go somewhere else, anywhere else? Maybe they actually do get to go to find another way to get to Cybertron, and they bring humans with them. That would be interesting, but who knows? So those are my main points that I wanted to talk about with Transformers: Rise of the Beast. What did you think of this movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What about my analysis? Do you agree, disagree? Did I miss something? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate whatever audience I can get. Be sure to look for my next movie review, which will be for The Flash, which comes out this Thursday. And if you like this video or any other video on my channel, please give me a like, share, and especially subscribe. I would very much appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for watching. But just remember, there is nothing new under the sun. And yes, you have seen it before.